What's up, everybody? Tyson Roush, Let's Talk Jets Radio. Hope everybody's well. Hope everybody is safe. We appreciate everybody keeps reaching out to us about doing more live streams like the UFC and the Askren Paul fight and stuff. Primetime and I both coach a lot right now, so it's a little bit more difficult to arrange things. And sometimes we're just dead-ass tired and don't want to. But for the draft, we'll be live pretty much every day, Thursday, Friday, Saturday. We'll do a lot more content. Monday nights we still do. Tuesday nights we still do. I know we still have the Titanic stream we got to do. We got a lot to do. We'll get to it. Just kind of a hectic schedule, especially now, like in New Jersey. A lot more things are opening up. So I teach at night as well. So just our schedule's kind of crazy. That Askren Paul fight last night was such a joke. I mean, I think we all expected the circus-like atmosphere. And once you see Askren come out and can't even defend a jab or a cross, and I mean, you look at what it is, and at surface, it was no surprise whatsoever. It's not an indictment on MMA fighters by no means. If Paul really wants to challenge himself, take on any just even low-level MMA fighter, pro MMA fighter, that's a legit striker. I know plenty of guys personally that would light him up. So some of these takes are just ridiculous. I also want to congratulate Primetime for a very funny video. Huge supporter of Sam Darnold, and I thought his video was clever as hell. And I don't really understand some of the people that continue to attack Kevin, which is kind of ridiculous. At some point, it's entertainment. Like we're trying to be entertaining. We're trying to talk Jet stuff like that, but it's not like some of our takes aren't personal indictments on us or an attack at some other us. It's just entertainment. It's supposed to be fun. I thought it was great, and that's kind of it. We're not experts. We don't pretend to be experts. We just try to have fun, have a forum for all fans to talk about things. So, let it be, man. Listen, he's moving on like everybody else. And what's going to happen next is there are people that don't like Zach Wilson and want Justin Fields. But at some point, just embrace it. We're all changed. We're all moving on. And let's all just have some goddamn fun, man. So I thought his video was funny. I appreciate everybody that reaches out and leaves feedback and comments and watches all our shows. In years past, we always had draft analysts on our show to talk about the upcoming draft. But at this point, it seems like that's overkill where everybody's doing that. So instead of doing that, we're letting everybody call in and share their takes and what they've learned and what their feelings are. It may not be interesting to some, but it just seems like if everybody's took the same 10 analysts, there's not really much value in that. If anything, we may have a couple guys on after the draft to get their insight on the players that were taken and the players the Jets passed on, if that's an interest to you. Also, we get a lot of offers for us to collaborate with other people, other YouTubers and stuff like that. Unfortunately, our schedule's crazy, and it's just tough to kind of arrange all this stuff. So we appreciate it. We do our best. There's a couple Bill's podcasts I go on, but I guess everybody's kind of doing their own thing. So draft news and notes. Obviously, it seems like at this point Zach Wilson is the number 2 pick, and there's a lot of articles about what the Jets need going into the draft. And for me, other than defensive tackle, they pretty much need everything. You can't really walk away saying, the Jets don't need these certain players. They're going to get their quarterback. Defensive line, I think, is obviously pretty stout. I know Sheldon Richardson's out there, but based on their signings in the offseason already, I don't really see that a fit. Richard Sherman is often mentioned, and I think he's the kind of player that will happen after the draft. But my personal belief is that he wants money and to play for a winner, which I don't think either of those are going to fit the Jets. But we'll see how the draft plays out. I think free agency is going to work where teams that don't get their guy in the draft will then go to the third phase of free agency to then pick up pieces to address holes. So in the draft, I think the Jets have a lot of flexibility, and I think once moves are made, then players could or could not get cut. If they go out and draft 2 offensive linemen, you may see an Alex Lewis go. Or if they go out and get a tight end, you may see Ryan Griffin go. Or I think there's going to be a lot of moves made after the draft, but there's a lot of flexibility too. I don't think you walk in and say the Jets don't need certain things. This roster is being completely overhauled. You want a whole new set of personnel. You want a whole new set of building blocks. And if the best value you can get to add a piece to your puzzle, you go out and get it. So it's going to be interesting. Like I said, at this point, I think so much analysis is overkill. There's no really big surprises. If anything, the surprise is going to be any kind of physicals that are failed. That's where kind of raise some red flags, or any kind of shit where you see, the Laramie Tunsil thing from years past, or some kind of off the field stuff that happens. But if you're a player right now, you got to be in your best behavior for the next 2 weeks. You don't want nothing to prohibit you from getting drafted. So it's going to be interesting. As of now, the Jets have joined one of several teams that are going to pass on the voluntary workouts. And based on last year's virtual offseason, I think a lot of teams learned a lot of lessons. I think players learned a lot of lessons. The Jets are overhauling their training staff, so hopefully they make some changes to help guys stay in shape and be ready to go. Other than that, the one interesting thing that I noticed in Rich Cimini's column today was that the Jets don't have any workout bonuses. So a lot of times they're saying, well, if the guys, if they forego on the voluntary workouts, they're going to miss out on their workout bonuses. And, Joe Douglas has changed a lot of things in terms of contracts, and that's fascinating to me. I think he's doing a lot of interesting things where he's kind of eating a bullet now or biting the bullet now on a lot of contracts. So down the line, the Jets aren't going to be just loaded with all these big contracts they can't get out of, or they have cap space issues. So in terms of salary cap management, Joe Douglas is doing some things behind the scenes I think a lot of us aren't realizing. So interesting times, not really an exciting video, no scolding hot takes or blistering stuff. We'll be live tomorrow night. Hopefully prime time will be able to with his coaching. Tuesday night, as always, during the draft, we'll do plenty of stuff. And that's pretty much it. Have a good day.